Hi, my name's Joe and you're watching the Aquatic Castle channel. Today we're going to talk about how to get mushrooms to attach themselves to rocks. Now mushrooms can become unattached from a rock for a number of reasons. It could be they're trying to propagate themselves, maybe they're looking for a little better environment, better lighting, whatever. But for any number of reasons, mushrooms can become unattached, and because they're slimy, you can't glue them to a rock. Now I've collected a number of loose mushrooms from one of my tanks, and I have them here in this tub. There's some green mushrooms in here, some orange ones, and it looks like there's a couple watermelons. Now one thing you'll notice is that some of the mushrooms in this container are very small. They're not really that small when they're mounted to a rock, but they have shrunk themselves up because of the stress of being put in the container, and they'll also shrink up like that when they become unattached from a rock. And that causes your current to really blow them around, so it can be pretty difficult to get a mushroom to attach if it's blowing around. So we need to get rid of the current, and that's what we're going to do next. The first step in getting rid of the current is you want to get yourself a container. You can have a big container, a small container, whatever the container you have. It should just match about the appropriate number of mushrooms that you have. I'm going to put some sand in the bottom of this container. And the reason for the sand I'll explain in a minute. Now this is dry sand, so it's full of silt. You can get the sand from your aquarium and you won't have that problem, but since I'm using dry sand, I need to rinse this. Now you can see the water is still foggy, but it's relatively clear when I put my hand under there. We're just going to carefully pour the water off and just keep the sand. We don't want this fresh water anyway. So we've got the sand in the container. The next step is you want to get some rubble. So I've got a whole layer of rubble in this bucket here. We're gonna get some of the bigger pieces. We want to sink them down into the sand a little bit, and then maybe we don't want a piece that big. And this rubble, it can be little bits of live rock. I've got a ceramic disc here. Could be a seashell. Basically what you want to do is you want to have a solid layer of rubble in the bottom of your bucket. And even though you get a solid layer, there's going to be some cracks in between some of the rocks, and that's what the sand's for. You don't want your mushrooms sinking to the bottom and attaching to the bottom, or not attaching to anything at all. By sinking the rocks into the sand, you increase your chances that your mushroom will actually attach to a rock. One thing you want to do when you're choosing your sand, the reason I'm using sand instead of aquarium gravel, is a mushroom will actually attach itself to the gravel. And you don't want that. You want to have a base like sand that the mushroom won't try to attach to. The mushroom might think the gravel is a rock. So then the next step is we just need to get some water, some salt water. Now you'll notice there's a good couple of inches of space between the level that the rocks are on and the top of the container. And what that's going to do is it's going to block the flow from the aquarium. Now we're just going to pour these mushrooms in here and let them just fall where they may. Now we're going to place our container of mushrooms in the aquarium. And, ooh, some of the mushrooms got away. Now my shirt sleeve's getting all wet. I should remember to wear short sleeves when I'm doing this. And if your mushrooms fold away, you can always just pick them back up and put them in there. Now over to the left here, I have some mushrooms from the last batch that I did. Here you can see I have an orange mushroom and a watermelon mushroom. Ooh, this one is attached to some gravel. Let's put that one back in for reattachment. A green mushroom. See how much bigger this mushroom is. This is an orange mushroom, and it is attached to a seashell. Now if you want, you can take these mushrooms and glue their little rock to a big rock. Now this colony of green mushrooms was started a little less than a year ago from a single mushroom attached to a small rock, much like the ones that we just attached. And you can't even see it, but the small rock is still in there. And once again, my name's Joe, and you've been watching the Aquatic Castle channel. And step on over to aquaticcastle.com for all the information you need to grow happy and healthy corals. Thanks. Have a great day.